The 2018 AFL season, it sure has had its moments.
16 seconds, 15 seconds, Gordon's kicked the goal, no he's missed.
Flashpoint, Stevie Moblop, what a time! Oh! He is floating on air now!
Dive Gresham Mendiant, would you believe it? St Kilda in front with a minute to go from 31 down at the final break.
You've got as much as you need. Look at the dogs on the mark. Look at them, the whole team, and he's missed. He's missed.
To Duncan, Duncan inside forward 50. Here they come. Cats. Set shot. He's done it. The Cats have won it. It was on a knife's edge. Here you go.
Killer blow and Mira kicks the goal. The Hawks are home.
Here Woods, Lambert, Martin in an impossible position. Oh no, it's not. It's dusty.
And that was just some of many dramatic moments. But after 23 rounds and 8 finals games, we are down to 2. On Saturday, the 29th of September, it will be the Magpies against the Eagles. But how did they get there? The Eagles began with defeat at the hands of the Swans.
Sinclair was there. Parker over his head. Luke Parker, what an amazing bit of play!
But then they proved just how good they were. The Bulldogs defeated, Geelong defeated, Gold Coast, no problem. The Blues defeated, Fremantle defeated, Port defeated, the Giants defeated, Richmond defeated, Hawthorn defeated, St Kilda defeated. 10 wins in a row before the bye round. They proved why they were good enough not just for the finals but for the flag. But after the bye round they would lose 3 games in a row.
So Sydney, the only team to beat the West Coast Eagles this year. It's Essendon's night in a big way. Just their second win against the West Coast Eagles in Perth in the last 16 years.
It disappears for the moment as the Adelaide Crows remember what it's like to win.
They recovered in round 16 by beating the Giants, but how did Collingwood do in the first 16 rounds? They began with 2 defeats to the Hawks and the Giants, but then they beat the Blues, the Crows and the Dons, only to fall to the Tigers. They beat the Lions, they lost to Geelong. 4 wins, 4 losses, improvement was needed. St Kilda defeated, Bulldogs defeated, Fremantle defeated, Melbourne defeated, Carlton defeated, Gold Coast no problem, Essendon defeated, and in round 17 the Eagles and the Magpies would face off.
Beaten Marston, Rioli, there was only a small opening but that's all that was needed. Is it Rioli after all? And to Hutchings, the finish was a little bit in between but it found a way.
A big win for the Eagles at the G, but they suffered a big loss in Nick Natanui. The Eagles then beat the Bulldogs, lost to the Kangaroos, then beat Freo in a game that was remembered for very different reasons, and then a week later, deja vu hits Port Adelaide.
Oh, they can. Lie set. High ball is deep. McGavin. All fans can't bear to watch. They led by 28 points at one stage, but the perfect storm has erupted. Injuries came and then the West Coast Eagles and Jeremy McGavin.
Despite being behind the entire game, they found a way to win after the siren, and they ended their season with a loss against Melbourne and a win against Brisbane, which secured them 2nd place. But how did Collingwood do in the last 6 rounds? They beat the Kangaroos, they lost to the Tigers, but agonisingly in a close game they lost to the Swans.
Picked up by Kennedy, couldn't get Boots a ball. It's a live footy. McCartan, he managed to get Boots a ball. Is it a goal? They think it is. It is a goal. Meyer sends it long. Numbers with the Swans. Heaney gets back.
But they ended strongly by beating Brisbane, Port Adelaide and Freo to finish 3rd. But they had just 1 win against teams in the 8. People doubted them. Can they do well in the finals? Can they win the big games? Do they stand a chance in the finals? Their first test would come against none other than the West Coast Eagles.
Here's a chance. He looks inboard, now decides to have a shot at the goal. Can Varco slide it through? What a magic moment for Travis Varco.
Now Sire just couldn't get boot to ball. Adams can. 2 in a row, Magpies. Has a bounce. Look at Varco. Come at him. Got him. Oh, magnificent trap, Varco. Here comes Kennedy. The crowd will tell you everything. Listen to this.
The West Coast Eagles now through Ryan.
Ryan's going to send it to a really dangerous spot. The Eagles forwards come at it. Kennedy at the back. Lacroix. Where does he go with the footy? It's touched. Darling off a step. Eagles got another one.
Stolen by Jenner. One step kick. Can Jenner kick the goal? Jenner can!
The Eagles have won one of the great finals.
Both teams played well, but the Eagles just had that little bit more in the final quarter that gave them the edge. As for the Pies, they had to go through the Giants.
Coming out, Haynes, lob back to Goey, boots a ball on the siren, Jordan De Goey scores!
So it's Hoskin Elliott, now Myercheck, outside of the boot, 2 in a row Collingwood. In fact it was Trelaw now forward, here is Varco, Travis Varco, first blood, Magpies.
No, there's your siren, Collingwood are victors and go through to the prelim final.
They went on to the prelim to face the Tigers at the G, the team with a record of consecutive wins at the G, the premiers from last year, the most dominant team this year, head and shoulders above everyone else, the favourites for this year's flag. This is who Collingwood had to face, and boy oh boy did they deliver.
Got the ball, handball to Crisp on the run. There's Collingwood's third goal for the quarter. To Goey, left foot snap, another one. Comes up to Law. Cox is the biggest man there. So Adams, Cox again. Oh, it's getting better. Vince Grimes worked him under. Asprey, Myercheck. Oh, can you believe it? In rhythm and in control. Cox again, a little squeeze. Trelaw might. Does he? Oh, he does. Still right in the balance here at the moment. Grundy can get it out of the balance. 33 points. That could be it. To the 2018 Grand Final, a famous victory on the back of this man here.
And just a day later, this happened.
Can he get another one? It looks good off the boot. It's home.
Red and high, ball forward. Look at Ryan. Lacroix with a bouncing ball. They make you pay.
Ryan looked at Lewis and said, I have got the wheels to take everyone on. Liam, flying Ryan, takes a bounce.
Darling, Kennedy, he's
bounced that through. Jack Darling, what about the leg break it took?
And that's out of bounds, but there's your siren. The West Coast Eagles are through to the 2018 Grand Final.
And now we have the Grand Final. Who will win? The Eagles have already beaten the Pies twice this season, but then again, so did Richmond. Collingwood have 15 premierships dating back to 1902, with the latest being in 2010. Only a few players from that team remain. Only 2 teams have won more premierships than the Pies. They've got some stars in their ranks, including Mason Cox, who just happens to be the first American to play the AFL Grand Final. The Eagles have won 3 premierships. The first 2 were in 1992 and 1994, a team that was coached by Mick Malthouse, who also happened to coach the 2010 Collingwood Premiership team. The Eagles' most recent premiership came in 2006 in an epic win against the Sydney Swans from an epic rivalry, and their last final was just 3 years ago where they lost badly to the Hawks. 12 of the players in that squad remain at the club today. Just like Collingwood, the Eagles have a strong squad despite missing a few star men. These 2 teams have already had some decent finals games already, and if the qualifying final is anything to go by, we could be in for a treat. But who wins? I guess we'll find out on Saturday.